Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by Generals Joe's REBORN.com. How's everyone doing on this fine Wednesday Eve? If you're on the East Coast, that is. If you're elsewhere, whatever it is, I hope you're having a good one of it. Hello to everyone in the comments already. Hello, Joe, Stanley, Agent Chuckles, Real Zim. Hello, guys. Hope everyone's doing really well. Happy Full Force and all that stuff. We have got a number of stories to talk about today. A little bit of catch up being played here. Of course, as you're probably aware, I've been doing, well, it's been interview week this week. And you'll also be very happy to know that I interviewed Lenny and Tony today. So that's good. That's in the chamber, and I am working on the edit for that. So that should hopefully, once approved by peeps at Hasbro, I know, probably before the end of the week, fingers crossed. Obviously tonight we'll do the news burst, and then we'll try and get that bad boy out at the end of the week. I will preface by saying, and this will disappoint everybody as well, but there are no name only reveals, unfortunately, from my interview with Lenny and Tony. It was really just design based, our design and model based our interview. I tried to squeeze in as many questions as possible. It's actually quite a long interview. It's over an hour, I think. So they were very, very generous with their time. I asked all of the major kind of pressing questions that I could find. But obviously, even with that amount of time, because Lenny and Tony do go on a bit, just kidding. It did, we didn't get to every single question that I wanted to ask. We touched on effectively the PulseCon reveals, the Falcon and Quarrel 2 pack, in terms of the design aspect, a little bit of Road Pig, some of the renders, of course, and we got into it. It's a really fun, what do you call it? I can't even think. It's a fun interview is the word I'm looking for. So that said, I tried to do as much as possible, and I swear, honestly, there's a whole section at the end which is just like listener, viewer, and Patreon questions, and it goes on for ages. So try to do as much as possible. And of course, there were a lot of kind of questions that I just couldn't ask, and so I didn't bother. Things like, are we getting this character? Are we getting this vehicle? When is this coming? When is that coming? They can't talk to that, as we know. But we did get a lot of the other major kind of questions out there for them, and other stuff that I came up with. So it's a good one anyway, and I'll be editing that for the next probably today and tomorrow. But in the meantime, we've got some news to report on, so let's get stuck into it. I'm not going to say anything about that comment, Von Hayes. I can't comment, but I don't believe that's the case if that helps with your question. Anyway, let's get into news. Yes, so even though it says Mega Dragonfly update and new classified incoming, there's actually another story that I didn't bother I knew about it, and I knew it was going in this episode, but for some reason just didn't put it on the graphics. Do I know why? Not really. Maybe I just prefer the 3 images to just than the 4. It just gets a little convoluted when you start getting the 4 images on there. In any case, we'll start with this. So this little teaser popped up earlier in the week, maybe, and it's clearly the twins in their suits as O-ring figures, isn't it? I mean, it has to be. And we were told at Joe Fest by Brian, and the things could change, obviously, they clearly have, that the Twins 2-pack was going to be a Target exclusive. So not sure if that's still probably not the case, if BBTS are going to be doing a pre-order for it. This might be a bait and switch. It might not be the twins. Who knows? I don't know. Or maybe it's something different. That's another good point, Paz. Yeah, it's a curveball. Maybe they're crimson suits. Actually, that's a pretty good shout, actually. In any case, I like that thinking. So yeah, because Brian did tell us that it was a Target exclusive. Not sure what this is going to mean for this particular BBTS. But like you say, it could be different. It could be the twins, but in like a crimson suits or something. That's not a bad shout, actually. In any case, just for those people who haven't seen this or didn't know about it, there's a teaser here for what looks to be O-ring Crimson Twins. Pre-order starts October the 1st at 2 p.m. CST on Big Pad Toy Store. The link is in the description to that page as well. 2 p.m. CST is 3 p.m. Eastern, and like 12. Is that 12 on the West Coast? I want to say 12 on the West Coast, 2 p.m. Central, and 3 p.m. Eastern. Whatever. In any case, keep an eye out for that because this is going to be exciting, I guess. And just in case you forgot what they look like, these were the Crimson Guard kind of 2-pack that was revealed at Joe Fest, and also then shown again at SDCC. And like I said, Brian said it was a Target exclusive 2-pack, so that might still be the case. And this BBTS thing might be like a different colorway or something. Who knows? Yeah, just answer that question, Venom. Just answer that question. We don't believe that's the case. In any case, we'll find out on Friday, or maybe we might even find out tomorrow night when the inevitable leaks happen beforehand. But anyway, Tomax and Zaymot, there you go. There they are. There's another shot there. I can't remember which one's. I can't remember which one. I think that's Zaymot. I'm just taking a closer look because that's the scar face. So that's Zaymot and that's Tomax. They both get briefcases. I'm actually really into this 2-pack. If I see this one out and about, I might have to get it. But anyway, anywho, that is that. Quick little bit of news. The other Target Geek Out usually reveals midnight Seattle, so 6 hours prior to availability to PO, says Stanley. Interesting. I don't, again, we'll find out on Friday. I can't comment on what it's going to be on Friday, but I don't believe that is the case. Chad says, I'm all in on the twins. Can't wait to pre-order from BBTS. Just tuned in. What have I missed as in price? Just that. That teaser from BBTS. Like I said, we were aware that the 2-pack was a Target exclusive. We're told that the 2-pack was a Target exclusive from Brian. So either we're looking at something slightly different, maybe a different colorway or something, or that isn't the case and BBTS have it instead or as well as. I don't know. I might ask the question, but I might also just you'll find out soon. Can I comment on the price point for this? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. It's 2 figures. They're about $20.49, $20.49, usually in single figures. It's going to be a bit more expensive, right? Anyway, Jeffrey Stalemate Ball. Again, I can't comment on what it's going to be on Friday. We'll just have to wait and see either the inevitable leaks or whatever. But yes, there is a Target full Geek Out thing happening on Friday as well. We do know that there's a listing for a Target. We know the listing. We know it was leaked, yada, yada, yada. But we can't talk. We can't comment on what the character is going to be. We'll just have to find out. Anyway, price point on the Target Geek Out figure. Well, it'll be a single figure price point. The usual. I don't know what that is because I can't even, like, $24.99 maybe. I don't remember what the price points are with Target, but a single figure price point. Brian Blessed Fury Fletcher says, hey D, me, I guess, Diagnostic 80, can you help the community out? Maybe. Can I relay a message to Lenny and Co at Hasbro? We need 1, maybe 2 complete waves of 6 per wave. Single release vehicles and driver, 3 Joes and 3 Cobras. Okay. I don't know whether that works with their line plan, though. That's the thing. It's one thing asking for certain things to happen in the line. It's another thing to ask them to imagine their entire line plan. Sure, I'll pass it along. red theme for the twins as Big Bad exclusive. Yeah, that could be the case, couldn't it? It really could be the case for this BBTS Crimson Twins. Anyway, sorry, there's a lot of like conflicting things going on here, and I don't want people to get confused. This on the screen, we're looking at the Crimson Twins 2-pack. We don't know if it's the one that we've seen already, aka this one, which it is this one, but we don't know if it's going to be something different to what we were told was the Target exclusive. We have no clue. Now, as well as that, there is also a Target for Geek Out Friday thing, which is classified related. So that's completely separate and different. So don't worry about it. I don't want to confuse anybody here. But anyway, that is that. Next up, we have a little bit of incoming classified. So Hobbybase, based in HK, posted that these are in stock for them. That is the female sniper and the Halo jumper, and also the Iron Grenadier bat and Raptor. Now, usually what happens when Hobbybase get them, I'm not starting over, Scott. I don't care if you're confused. What usually happens when Hobbybase get hold of these figures, there's like it then starts this kind of like fairly soon clock ticking for them to arrive for most, for everyone else. So it probably won't be too long before we start seeing these. And I know, in fact, the Halo jumpers started to arrive for people. The female sniper has also started to arrive for people in the US. So in terms of like pre-orders and stuff like that, I don't know who's like shipping first, but they are starting to kind of sneak in. So these are probably on their way very, very soon. So that is also quite exciting. And that's pretty much all there is to say on that one. Now, more Mandalorian stuff. Yeah, there's also some stuff over there, the Star Wars stuff, that I'm not interested in that. I just care about the G.I. Joe things. But anyway, that was posted by Hobbybase, and you can see the link. You can actually follow Hobbybase on Facebook. They often do post when they have these things in, and they do often have them early, bruv. GL, both 60th figs are in my hands. I'm in Chicago. Yes. Did you get them pre-order wise? Yeah. I know like lots of people have got some in hand from getting them from, from the Far East. But yeah. Also, yes, Retro Stalker's coming in too. I know Justin Bell just got his in. So shout out to Justin Bell. I'm very, very, very jealous because I can't wait to get that Stalker. And Retro Cobra Commander is due tomorrow, says Sean. Nice. Lots of stuff coming in. We know this is always the way. It always trickles in. It always kind of, it's not an exact science, is it? The distribution. In any case, these are coming soon. Now, we also have a Dragonfly update, which is very exciting. Now, the Dragonfly update happened yesterday, and basically was an email to backers of the Dragonfly to basically say, get any changes to your addresses in quick because we are shipping these very soon. Yes, the Pulse email went as follows. G.I. Joe Assault Copter Dragonfly XH1 HASLAB backers. That's a bit of a mouthful. I think you could have gotten away with Dragonfly backers, couldn't you, really? The time is almost here. Our teams are prepping to start shipping the G.I. Joe Classified Series Assault Copter Dragonfly XH1 HASLAB to all of you. Before we do that, we want to make sure we have the correct shipping address listed on your order and give you a chance to make any necessary changes before it heads your way. You have until the end of the day on Thursday, October 24th, 2024 to update your shipping address through Hasbro Pulse. Incorrect shipping information could impact the receipt of your item. Don't let it happen to you. Yada, yada, yada. You can update there, whatever. Now, October 24th, that is not bad. Considering we got the delay and it's kind of been touted around December, this is coming in a little bit earlier, and I'm quite happy about that. So obviously, it's not going to be in hand Thursday, October 24th, but as soon as they've got to that point and they've made sure everything's on point, they'll start processing everything. And then obviously you're looking at, about a week? So in any case, it's all exciting. My berries are buzzing for the Dragonfly. I mentioned it to Lenny and Tony on the interview as well today, which obviously will be out in a couple of days, hopefully, probably 3 days, let's say. Let's give me 4 days just in case. Well, I've got to edit it. It's over an hour long, which is amazing. So got to edit it first. Then I've got to have it approved, which can take some time, and then I might have to re-edit it if they want some stuff removed. Like nothing untoward was said, and they usually trust me to put the put the right stuff out. But you never know. That might have to be taken into consideration. But hopefully, my aim is to get it up by the weekend. Fingers crossed we can do that. Jeremy says, note, his cutoff was November 24th and had mine December 11th. So hopefully November 12th or so far, Dragonfly. Yeah, that sounds about right. Jeremy. I think we can all pretty much kind of land, no pun intended, around that mid-October. Sorry, that mid-November kind of spot. And that's going to be closing in on my birthday, which is fun. And Kate's. That's amazing that our birthdays are so close. A lot, our family seem to have a lot of November birthdays. It's crazy. Anyway, that is your update for the HASLAB Dragonfly. Can't wait to get that in hand. I might do an unboxing for that one when it comes in, like I did for the HISS tank. I know I've kind of stopped doing that recently, but I might start picking up on that again soon, now that I'm kind of getting the figures in kind of like good time again. So you might start getting some unboxings again, and I might switch it to a slightly different format so you guys can see more of the figure in kind of close-ups and all that kind of jazz. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what kind of bandwidth I have for that one. In any case, that is that. Now, also, we may get Xandar by Christmas. Possibly, Scott. But that is technically the hashtag Xandar by Christmas. Xandar by Christmas is me dressing up as Xandar by Christmas and not being too concerned about getting my body out. Yes, Clint, I'm fully aware of the November birthdays because Valentine's Day, with people getting busy on Valentine's Day. I get it. Do not remind me. Anyway, yes, that is Pulse. Sorry, that is the HASLAB Dragonfly update. Next, and this is probably the biggest news, and that is Brian _Blocks on Instagram has dropped more images of the kind of leaked mega G.I. Joe figures. So obviously this one popped up on Reddit, the HISS driver, and Brian has now got a nice close-up in-hand shot of this one. So that's nice. So like I said, we've seen the HISS driver, but one of the things that Pat and I were talking about with Ace and Duke was the fact that it looked very likely to be an Ace and Duke that comes with a Sky Striker. And then when the HISS driver popped out, it felt like we might see another character coming along with the HISS driver. And Bosh, it's a Cobra Commander. So it looks likely right now that we could be getting some sort of Mattel Creations fan vote thing, or they're just going to just release them. Either way could happen, for a mega kind of maybe Sky Striker set with Ace and Duke, and maybe a mega HISS tank set with the HISS driver and Cobra Commander. It's all speculative at the moment. We do at least know that we've got a Duke, Ace, Cobra Commander, and HISS driver coming. It would be weird at this scale to do drivers and not their vehicles, or is what I'll say on that one. We haven't seen anything of a Sky Striker or a HISS yet, but you never know. You never know. Versus set is a good shout as well, Darren. Yeah, maybe like a Sky Striker HISS tank double set with 4 figures. That is a possibility as well. And also something I'd like to mention. I was emailed by hang on, let's just get that email up. I was emailed by Nate Nakama, who obviously is a watcher and listener of the show, who reminded me, because I think when Pat and I started talking about the mega stuff, we were kind of comparing it. We were kind of bringing up Masters of the Universe, we were bringing up Halo, but there was one that did come up early on in conversation, but seems like I've completely just forgotten to mention it again since we've been talking about it after the fact. And that is, of course, that Mega do produce Call of Duty, figures and vehicles as well. And that is probably a very good indication of what we might get for G.I. Joe. So thank you, Nate, for emailing and kind of just giving us, like, reminding me that those things exist and I should probably talk about them as well. And I know people have mentioned it in the comments as well. I've seen them in the comments when we've been talking about the when we've been talking about the mega stuff. And it's just one of those things that I just keep forgetting to mention or talk about. Like Pat will be talking about something, I'll see the comment, it'll go in there, and then I'll probably think about something else by the time he finishes talking. Not saying that Pat goes on a lot, but he does, doesn't he? Just kidding. Yeah. So with that, Call of Duty is a very good kind of like point to mention with Mega, and good kind of ideas to kind of see where, comparisons could be made, or like you could kind of see something being done. So anyway, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Now, the reason I wanted to go live really just to make sure we were on top of everything, and I was, covering all the stories from this week. I was contemplating, concentrating on just doing all of the kind of like interview stuff. Sorry, I'm terrible at multitasking, as you can see. But yeah, I was kind of like contemplating just focusing on the interview stuff, getting that kind of done and edited in good time, and then like just focus on some of these smaller stories and just doing a weekly. But obviously, we've got things kind of coming up, and I wanted to make sure we covered them, in good time, basically. Now, the other interview we've got just around the corner is with Brian Flynn, Super 7. So it's usually the case. We usually do a Hasbro interview, a Brian interview, and then we just happened to squeeze in a Dan Last interview this time as well, which was great. We've got a bunch of others sort of like that we're trying to get kind of moving. We want to do another one with the Wrath of Cobra team. We want to do another one with Kerry mainly, but like, we want to kind of do another one with the Wrath of Cobra guys. We also want to do a bunch of interviews. Shooting the Galaxy. We want to get Matt on Shooting the Galaxy. We definitely want to talk to him. And there's a bunch of others that are kind of floating around that I will definitely try and chase up. So again, I've been working very hard trying to get all of these things organized during, like, in and around my actual day job, which is an absolute pain sometimes to actually be balancing, like, juggling all of this. Not balancing, it's juggling it all. But yeah, that is the aim. And of course, all of the other content we want to do. Obviously, we did a movie news burst this week as well. Justin and I were just kind of catching up on some of the news that have been coming out of more Lorenzo de Bonaventura comments. And I'm also trying to like do, and also Patreon stuff as well. So like the weekly Patreon video as well. So it has been busy, to say the least, but this is great. And 100% Jeremy, Energon Universe comic team stuff, yeah, 100%. I'd love to talk to them. The kind of main thing is, though, I feel like and I would like I said, I'd 100% do it, but the fact that you've got Talking Joe, who do like very good in-depth comic interviews with a lot of the creators, a lot of the people that are doing the stuff with the Energon Universe at the moment. I kind of feel like I'm, if I can come at it at a different angle, or if I can like make it worth everyone's while to do it, like I think that would be great. But at the moment, I just feel like they're doing a great job, and I don't know. It just feels like they're covering that in a really great way. Do you know what I mean? But 100%, I'd love to get the guys from the Energon Universe on the show. All the people that are involved. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of different writers, artists, creators. I'd love to get anyone from Skybound. Honestly, it would be incredible to chat about something that I am absolutely loving at the moment. Still haven't bloody read 310 yet. How have I forgot to do that? I know that's not the Energon Universe, but I need to get into issue 310 of The Real American Hero. But yeah, 100%. What is my day job, says Stanley? I'll keep some things to myself, I think, on this one, Stanley, but it is in the toy industry. Lawrence says, from one fan to another, I really appreciate all you do for the fandom. It does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. Real fans, thank you for all your work. Thank you, Lawrence. That's very kind of you to say. FC Viper says, Chris, quit your day job and stream live Joe content 24 hours a day. It's simple. You'd think so, wouldn't you? You'd think that would be worth it, but it probably would not. I would not survive. Really enjoyed the Dan Larson interview, says Scott. Thank you. That was a fun one. Dan's great. I've known Dan for a while now. He's been on the show in 2022. And we've kind of been chatting before that. And now we've had opportunities where but I met him for the first time, like in 2016. But we didn't really know each other and what we did at that point. I was just wanted a picture with a Flint cosplayer. But we chatted at that point, and that was fun. And then after that, it was like when they started doing Toy Galaxy, I was just well into Toy Galaxy and didn't realize that the person I'd met in 2016 was Dan Larson, Toy Galaxy. So it was kind of fun that we got to, meet again, mainly online, but then again in person a couple of times. And just kind of like really think he's a top guy, awesome fella, real quality content creator as well. I know it's him and Greg that do the Secret Galaxy now, but my goodness, they do an incredible, polished, professional kind of job, and puts me to shame a lot of the time, big time. But like, I love what they do, really enjoy the episodes, and it was great getting him back on again, especially with this kind of connection with the Joe team and doing pulse cons and stuff. It's just awesome. I'm so happy for him and not jealous at all. Respect shouting them out. Talking Joe is good, guys. Absolutely, Jeremy. Yeah, Tim and Mark are amazing, and they do great things, and they do amazing interviews. And that, again, like, they are pretty much, they've got that kind of comic side of Joe so wrapped up that I feel like the occasional comics, but like, I wanted to do more stuff with them as like a kind of combination thing, but they're already doing a lot of stuff. And it's hard for the availability, and Mark's in the UK, so that creates a bit of an issue in terms of the time difference. But in the future, maybe we can do something on a regular basis, like a comics burst with them, like a crossover sort of kind of deal. It's something that we've definitely been talking about and wanting to do for a long time. Sean says, I'm loving the new comics since the old original comics were my first introduction to the Joe-verse. Yeah, the new stuff's been great, Sean, hasn't it? It's been so good. Kev Jewel read 310 today. I've got to get on it. I've got to get involved. Not the adult toy industry, Clint. No, actually, the industry that I'm talking about right now is the industry I'm involved in. Sean says, a day job. Now, some of us are disabled veterans, so my day is hanging with the dogs, finding toys, and going to the VA. That sounds like actually a really nice time, Sean, honestly, and thank you for your service. And especially the dogs part, that sounds awesome. And finding toys, of course. Drinking espresso martinis and womanizing is my day job, says Kev Joel. That sounds terrible. Scott says, Dan is responsible for getting you back into collecting. This is all his fault. Let's blame everything on Dan. Emprise says, I hope to one day shake yours and Dan's hands for being quality content creators. Well, thank you very much, Emprise. Maybe that can happen in the future. Maybe at a con, if I ever visit one again. We are working at the moment to make it to AR, which we're really excited for. And maybe even next year we can start making some trips to do SDCC or Joe Fest and stuff like that. Maybe that's in the future. Jedi Ben, the Energon universe got me back into a comic store after over 20 years. It's great. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I had to drive over 2 hours to find a comic store since they all shut down. They kind of did, didn't they? Which is a shame. Obviously, it went through a bit of a rough kind of period, the kind of comics industry, didn't it? Very recently, and it's kind of with the Energon universe for G.I. Joe has especially kind of been a really good burst of Energon into the franchise. And of course, the kind of Skybound taking on has obviously been an actual really good positive move for the brand, in all honesty, and for Transformers too. I do not work at Toys R Us in Canada, no, FC Viper. I don't work at Toys R Us. That would be... I used to work at Toys R Us way back in the day when I lived in the UK. I miss the old JoeCon days, says Brian. So do I, Brian. Oh my God, they were the best. JoeCons were like just the most phenomenal experiences, and where I met a lot of friends, genuinely, and made a huge amount of friends in the Joe community. We need hit and run and bomb striking classified. Yes, we do, Lawrence. I agree with both of those. Hopefully not too far away, honestly. I think both of those are necessary. Grizzlehorn says hit like. Yes, please, hit like. Right, I'm going to bring it to a close there. I was going to do it half hour, and we've kind of hit 30 minutes kind of perfectly there. Thank you very much for joining me for this quickie. Like I said, I've got the Hasbro interview in the chamber. I turned out the Dan Larson interview in like less than a day. So fingers crossed I can, it was like that night we recorded, and then the next day it was out. So if I can work my fingers to the bone, Kitty said, on this interview, I might be able to get this done by Friday, which is it's a bit dangerous, because if I give anyone approval, if I send anything to Hasbro people on a Friday, I'll probably hear back on a Monday. Anywho, thank you very much for joining me again, guys, and I will see you very soon. What is it today? It's Wednesday, so Thursday, maybe leaks. I might be talking leaks tomorrow night. You never know, because of the whole Friday thing. Hopefully, necessarily that doesn't happen. Or if it's too late, no, I'll be just doing a reaction to, be doing a reaction on Friday, basically. So if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you Friday. And stay fresh, cheese bags. And remember, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters video. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Full Force. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @The Full Force Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.